my new blog post 25. And in this blog post, I'm going to discuss about business needs. This is actually the second part of the series related to the business case. So let's start. So first thing first, what actually is business need? Business needs are the basic drivers of change in an organization. And these are identified as requirements and implemented by hiring people, implementing projects, and transforming operations and purchasing goods. So this is the basic definition for the business need. In order to implement the business need, you need to keep the four factors in mind. First one is actually the determination of what is prompting the need of, for the action. Second one is situational statement documenting the business problem or the opportunity that is required to be addressed. Then there comes the identification of stakeholders that are actually affected and the identification of the scope that is required for the business need. So there are actually multiple types of business needs, and there are actually 18 of them. So let's discuss them one by one. First type of business need is actually talent, in which people with the ability to achieve the objectives of the firm. For example, a design director who can develop products that sell well. Then a second one is infrastructure, in which basically foundational services such as networks and computing are involved. Then there are facilities, for example, offices, factories, warehouses, data center, retail locations, and product showroom. Next one is processes. For example, business processes such as order fulfillment, sales, things like that. Then there are standard and practices. For example, a consistent way of doing things as defined by principal policies, procedures, and standards. Then systems for like softwares that automate the works that are required to fulfill a certain business need, or a software that is actually required to automate a problem in your work. Then applications, softwares that people actually use as a tool to improve the productivity. Then there's knowledge. It is basically the know-how and other types of knowledge such as situational awareness. Then there comes the data. Data is basically the information that is designed to be used by a machine. For example, a billing database that is used to generate a customer invoices each month. Then there are machines, physical machines that perform work, a sewing machine, for example. Tools, physical tools that people use to perform work, such as mobile device or hammer. Then capabilities, business capabilities such as the ability to recruit talent and issue paychecks. Then structure, organizational structures such as departments and teams, each with their own objectives and capabilities. Then relationship with the stakeholders such as investors, partners, customers, employees, regulators, and community. Then organizational culture, the norms, habits, and values of a firm. For example, a business may need to transform its culture to be more creative and accepting of the change. Then third last is intellectual property, valuable knowledge that is actually owned by a firm, including trade secrets and patents. Sorry. Then there is product and services, the value that a firm offers to the customer. And then the last one is the customer experience, the experience that a firm offers to the customer. For example, a business that needs to improve the friendliness and diligence of its call center services in order to address poor customer satisfaction, right? So first of all, when you are actually doing the business need, you need to perform the need analysis, and you need to keep this thing in mind that you need to define the gap between the current state of a business and its goal. And while you are actually doing the need analysis, you need to keep in mind like what are the goals, what are the requirements, how what kind of goods are actually required, talents that is required, what are the objectives, or um, any attribute which I have mentioned earlier in this slide. So let's come towards the star question. And the question is, through business need, we cannot identify the scope. So is it true or false? Uh, so this is it. And I am positive that you have understood the concept of business need through this vlog. Hopefully